What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the stream. And today I got for you the second draft of our Las Vegas Vipers rebuild. As you can see, the second season is off to a okay start. I mean, we're not supposed to be very good, so being under 500 isn't too big of a surprise. Sitting at 24-31, we actually had a semi-decent April. You see quite a lot of green on that month of April. However, we've slowed down quite a bit, and May was kind of rough for us. You see a lot of L's on that screen. A lot of the guys who started the season hot have cooled off pretty significantly, but some of the guys who were hot to start the season have maintained their hot starts. So we're going to be taking you guys through some of the performers of this season after the draft, but let's get into the draft right now. So let's go. We have the third overall pick. So the first pick is Bradley Lawrence. Is that when I was actually looking at some of the blue chip prospects, was the guy I liked the most. So I was thinking he probably would not be there available for us. And of course, he goes number 1 overall. Second pick is Edward Moore. I'm probably okay not getting this guy. Don't love those Ks per 9 numbers and those hits per 9. So that is fun. Let's see who is available for us. So not that many blue chip prospects in this draft. 3 closing pitchers, which are a complete waste in the first round as blue chips. Actually, 4 closing pitchers. So I don't quite understand why there's any closing pitchers as blue chip prospects to start with. But like to have 4, that's ridiculous to me. So looking at catcher position, I did think about taking a catcher. So I scouted catchers pretty decently. This guy, pretty balanced across the board. I've been a little bit displeased with how, Ivan Herrera has been playing in AAA. He's picked it up a little bit, but still, that's not very good. Catchers are so hard to develop in this game, like very, very hard. Rene Pinto was off to a hot start this season, but he has cooled off. He's not a long-term option for short catcher. And Carson Taylor is hurt again, despite having another pretty solid year. So we're a little thin at the catcher position. So maybe I would consider going with that catcher. Let's see. Left field. He doesn't hit for enough power, and I don't want to waste the 3rd overall pick on a guy who's just going to hit for light contact. And then a 23-year-old at first base. I don't love it. So I think that catcher might be the pick. Let's see if some of the guys that I scouted at catcher. Yeah, he's a 45 overall. He's a 50 overall. So I think that this catcher, you know what? I like it. Let's go with Victor Leon out of Venezuela. So yeah, I'm not too disappointed with that pick. How old was he? He was 19. So yeah, I mean, I'm not too disappointed with the pick. We'll see what he ends up being. Okay, so let's get into, I went pretty hard on lefty pitchers because I don't have a lot of depth of terms of lefty starting pitchers in my organization. So that's really what I focused on mainly at the pitching position. Derek Leonard, that's pretty decent. I might consider taking him. No. If I'm going to take a guy early, this guy's pretty decent. If I'm going to take a guy early, I think I want to make it a lefty, Juan Chavez. Ooh. Okay. So Chavez and Leonard interest me. I'm going to have another pick coming up here in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks. So I think one of those 2 picks has to be one of those lefties for sure. Let's take a look. The another position I was kind of struggling. See, all the lefties I had been looking at are gone. Kind of frustrated that so many of the first basemen I was scouting were like 45 overall. So I was looking for somebody possibly to be a long-term option there. Wow. I did not go very hard on scouting the infielders. Okay, so Chris Jordan is actually one of the last guys that I scouted. He's pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to take him right now. Right now I'm leaning towards taking one of those pitchers. Not a lot of power for those guys. Right fielder? No. Okay, I think I'm going to take one of those 2 pitchers that I was looking at. So Juan Chavez, who I do like the velocity on him. Good, solid per 9 numbers. So that's a definite maybe. Derek Leonard has a higher scouted potential. Let's see. More Ks per 9. I always get like a little bit entranced when people throw like upper 90s. I'm like, oh, I got to draft that guy. But I think the smart pick is probably Derek Leonard. Okay, I'm going to go with Derek Leonard here. My central scout is a pretty good scout, so I still kind of want to take Chavez, but I think I got to go a hitter here. Kind of upset. I put a lot of scouting effort into outfield, and I don't really love any of the outfielders that I found. Let's see. John Martin, 23 years old. Espinosa's not bad. So Espinosa's one guy that I'll look at. I don't love McLeod. All those outfielders got taken pretty fast. I still like Chris Jordan. I haven't loved how Gunnar Henderson has developed. So I think it's coming down to probably Chris Jordan or Hank Marlin or Mario Espinosa. You know, I got some lefty hitters already in center field. Switch hitter. You know what? I think I'm going to go with Jordan because this guy, as I was looking through, I really kind of liked. Looks like him. He possibly could play left field too. He's got good arm strength. So, okay. Let's see. Is that pitcher still there that I like? Nope, he is gone. What about Marlin still there? I think that's probably who I have to go with. Yeah, I was looking at him last round. That center fielder's gone. I think I got to go with Marlin. Okay, so I'm kind of attacking some of the needs that I had coming into this draft. I'm running out of scouted players because, again, I didn't cast a very wide net. I really kind of tried to find out a lot about specific players. Oh, I did like Everett as I was scouting him. I don't love drafting 23-year-olds, but he had pretty good makeup and potential. But just being a 50 overall is really turning me off of him. What are we looking at for pitchers? So no lefties left there that I have scouted at starter. What are we looking at for position players? Yeah, I'm pretty much out of position players to draft. So I am going to have to just take some shots on guys. I did want a lefty reliever. I wanted to get out of here with a lefty reliever. Okay. Maybe I'll take a chance on this kid. Frankie Franco, come on. Who comes up with these names? Let's see. What other lefties are here? Maybe I take a shot on Frankie Franco. Either that or what other lefties are possible for... Oh, don't want to... Wrong button there. Okay, let's find... I want to find a lefty. Well, I don't have to take a lefty because I did already draft one. Richie Gallegos? That's not too bad. You know, I might actually take this kid. Let's see, is there anybody else that looks interesting to me? Because maybe that would be the guy to take a shot on. You know what? Let's do it. Let's take Richie Gallegos. I kind of like this makeup. That's a good blind shot to take. Maybe I come back with Frankie. Oh, looks like he got drafted. Oh, I'm really curious how good he actually is. He looks like he got nasty stuff. I'll have to check him out afterwards. He went to the Astros. Okay. So we are running out of players here. Let's look for maybe another fielder. Good speed. You know, this might be a stupid pick, but maybe I will go with Geraldo Valencia. Just to see. Paul Powell's another guy. I mean, again, we said last draft, you can't have too many shortstops, so maybe I go there. I was looking for a possible second baseman. Any first baseman? No, I scouted all these first basemen. Caballero. So, yeah, maybe I go with, just because he's probably going to get taken, this probably won't pay off, but let's take a swing at Geraldo Valencia. We know nothing about him. He's got 45 potential, 45 overall, but maybe somebody would shock us. All right, so we got one more pick, and we got, again, a decent amount of players. They did a lot of discovery. So, all righty. Let's see. Who do we have left scouted? Caballero, then Phil Johnson. Phil Johnson, yeah, he's probably not going to be very good. All right, who is left at the pitcher position? Any lefties? So Henry Franco, maybe I could take a shot on him. He doesn't look so bad. And then Nick Williams. Nah, not enough velocity for me to like him. What about any lefties here? Michael Lee, oh, way too slow. So, nothing there. First base is pretty weak. I mean, I could take another third baseman. I'd be really stacking up on third baseman now in this draft. Duh! You know what? I'm going to take Paul Powell. He's sitting out there. I'm going to take him. So that's it. That is our second draft class. I think we nailed our first couple picks. I'm pretty happy about those. Let's see how those panned out. Let's see. Victor Leone. He is a 51 overall. So I think I forgot to kind of take down what he was. I think he was a 50 overall is what he was marked as. So this guy is very far away from the majors, but we are still pretty far away. I don't love how far away he is, even though he is 19. Maybe would have wished for a little bit better of a first-round pick. But, you know, I can't hate too much on it. He's going to have 93 potential. So, or I'm sorry, 90 potential after I bump him down a little bit. So, hey, a potential catcher, can't complain too much. Derek Leonard is only 78 potential. That's not what we were hoping to get. This is not a very good draft class. Richie Gallegos, actually pretty solid, but again, overall is way too low for me to like him that much. Already 22 years old, so yeah, this draft class did not go super great for us. Hank Marlin is okay, 19 years old, already 57 overall, 79, so that's not so bad. Valencia was not great. Probably will sign him because he is a 65 overall. Probably can use him as a organizational guy. And then Paul Powell, obviously that's why he was going undrafted, is because he's not super great. Defensive numbers are good, but the bat is not there. So let's look at some of what the other blue chip guys were. So Kevin Jones, that guy was not a blue chip. I don't think he was a blue chip, because I probably would have drafted him, although he doesn't throw a changeup, which I don't love when starters don't throw changeups. Garrett Burris is a guy that I scouted. I remember that. Let's see. Dante Dugan, Edward Moore, Cortez. Yeah, I mean, this was just a bad draft to have a top blue chip prospect, because it looks like there were some better guys available. Bradley. Let me see. Look, Bradley Lawrence. That's the guy I wanted, but we somehow didn't have the worst record in baseball last year. It's unfortunate because we would have landed Lawrence. Let's see. Almost done. Sam Rivera, Martin Nunez. I mean, 99 potential. That's great, but yeah, I mean, not the best draft for us. A little bit disappointed how that pans out, but so we wanted to see how Frankie Franco. Oh, he's pretty bad, so not upset that we passed on him. That's totally fine by me. So, yeah. And then Joseph O. Oh, you know, this is what stinks, is Joseph O is actually one of my favorite guys that I scouted as I was going through doing my manual scouting. And, man, he ends up being, probably would have preferred him over the catcher that we drafted. But he was gone in the first round before I could have gotten him. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to pass up on those blue chip prospects, especially when you have the third overall pick. So pretty unfortunate that it's weird to say that, but I kind of wish we didn't have the third overall pick in this draft, because they probably would have had a better draft. But as weird as that might be, but anyways, let's go ahead and sign these guys. We will take those. Wish Derek Leonard could have been a little bit better. Okay, Hank Marlin. And then, yeah, we'll just sign everybody. So, all right, let's go over and check how some of the how some of the guys are doing. Dylan Dodd struggling, Asa Lacy struggling, Will Robertson doing pretty well, Dalton Kelly, who's one of our organizational guys, doing well. Sean Burke is having a pretty good prove it year. Abner Uribe has settled in. All right, let's take a look at our players. Espinal's been a staple at the top of our lineup. Great on base percentage for a leadoff guy. Slugging percentage, 409 over 400, so I can handle only having a 130 ISO, so not bad for Espinal. Nootbaar was off to a like hot start, but he has significantly cooled off. I think I might call up Mickey Moniak to play an everyday role because he has been playing well at AAA, and Taylor Trammell has not been getting it done in his minimal time at the dish. Mitch Haniger, I mean, I don't know what it is about our top outfielders that are like trade chips, but they can't seem to bat at all. Last year was Joey Gallo. This year it's Mitch Haniger. So kind of rough to see those numbers. Hopefully he picks it up as we get closer to the trade deadline so we can flip him for some good prospects. The Yerminator has not had a great season. So we're hoping that he bounces back soon. But yeah, a little bit disappointed to see him fall back after last year. Corey Dickerson's been decent for us. On base percentage is awful, but his slugging is pretty good. Miguel Andujar has had a great season. We're probably going to move him at the deadline so long as he stays healthy, knock on wood, and he keeps up these numbers because, I mean, he's a big-time power bat, and we should be able to fetch a good return for him. Nick Gordon was off to a rock-solid start. He was on fire. You think he was slugging over 500 at one point? Cooled off a little bit, but overall, pretty good season so far for him. We talked about Rene Pinto a little bit. Nicky Lopez has been heating up at the dish a little bit. Still want to see that batting average around 290, but overall, not so bad. What's his WAR on the year? WAR is 1.3, so not a bad. He's on a good rate right now. On the bench, Scott Kingery's been bad. I don't know how much longer we're going to keep him on the team. There's some guys that I maybe would want to push into the majors, so we might end up DFAing him and trying to flip him for some low prospects at some point. Taylor Ward, not been great in that platoon role with Corey Dickerson. Switching over to the pitching rotation, Manaea has cooled off a little bit, but you see the numbers there, 3.62 ERA, 1.1 whip, so not bad. He is looking pretty good to be a trade candidate. Aaron Civale, he could be a long-term piece for us, but I think that he could fetch a pretty good return. So something to monitor as we come close to trade season is him. Carlos Carrasco, a couple teams have inquired about him. I haven't found anything I quite love yet. He's not having a great season, but surprisingly, knock on wood, maintaining those numbers decently enough, staving off some of that regression. So I think we might be able to get something for him at the deadline if he pitches well. Carlos Hernandez's numbers, 4.75 ERA and a 1.51 whip, don't look outstanding, but his FIP is down near 4, so he's having a decent season in my opinion. Glenn Otto's been pretty good. The whip's high, which means I'm going to guess the FIP's probably pretty decent. No, FIP's at 3.58, so Glenn Otto doing fine in that fifth starter's role. Sean Newcomb, I mean, he can't even lean on a good FIP this year. He's at 4.63. So my gosh, I mean, he's only got 1 year of service time left. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. He might not even make it through this year. I don't know. We'll see. Dylan Coleman, he had a good start this season, but has cooled off a little bit. Jason Adam has been struggling. I think he's had a couple of blow-up appearances. He hasn't been too bad on average, but his ERA is skyrocketing right now. Tyler Ivey's been good, so I'm happy to see that. Kenya Middleton's been solid. Brooks Rally's been okay. We might look to move him at the deadline since he's a pretty decent lefty reliever. Pierce Johnson's been good, and Lugo has been okay. Hasn't gotten a ton of work because, we're not that great, so we don't get a lot of closing opportunities anyways, but he is a guy primed to be moved at the deadline as well. Moving down to AAA, we talked about Mickey Moniak, Carter Kieboom. At this rate, he's not going to finish the season on this team. I might just cut him straight up. It's very disappointing. I was hoping that he could develop into something with that B potential, but it just looks like he just doesn't have what it takes. Gunnar Henderson has picked it up a little bit recently. 150 ISO. I'd like to see that a little bit higher. So he is our top prospect. Only 21 years old, so I'm not going to panic quite yet. He's already at 70 overall. Just want to see that bat develop just a little bit more. Tyler Gentry, who had a hot 2022, doing okay. Want to see a little bit more of him. Greg Deichmann, probably deserving of a call-up back into the majors. Dalton Kelly is pushing for a 40-man spot with those numbers. We talked about Ivan Herrera. Casey Schmidt was hurt for about a month and a half. Hitting better than last year. Remember, his slugging was under 300 last year, so better this season. Jeter Downs has picked it up of late. Might try to find his way in the majors. If I do get rid of Scott Kingery, I will probably bring up Jeter Downs for that bench infield role. Looking down at AA, Tyler McDonough, soft hitting second baseman, utility guy. Cole Roder has been awful. JT Schwartz has been decent. Want to see more power out of him since he's a first baseman, but average numbers and the on-base percentage are solid. Alexander Ramirez, our B potential right fielder, has not been great. I might consider dropping him lower in the order. Will Robertson's been pretty good. Probably going to try to get him into AAA at some point. I wanted to start him in AAA, just didn't have an outfield spot for him. Davison De Los Santos, not bad for a 19-year-old. Want to see more out of his power numbers there. So got to be careful not to hurt him too much. Manuel Rodriguez has picked it up of late. Decent ISO, but the average not where we want it to be. Kevin Mate is struggling again to start this year. Maybe he's just a slow starter because he picked it up near the tail end of last year, so that was promising. All right, let's go look at the minor league rotations. Now, Bo Brisk, for the second straight year, is pitching very well. There's not really a rotation spot for him currently, but there probably will be one at some point, so want to see what he can do in the majors eventually. Justice Sheffield had a good month of April, but his month of May was awful. We'll see if we'll get him into the majors at this point this year, but if he can't break into the majors or if he breaks in and he doesn't perform well, this will be his last season with us because I'm just not going to deal with him anymore. Probably the same deal for Touki Toussaint, who has also been pretty bad at AAA. Brian Bello has not had a great season at AAA, but that's okay. I probably want to get him into the majors late season to give him a little bit of work in maybe the bullpen role so he can possibly break camp with the Major League squad next year. Asa Lacy, I'm not going to worry about him. Not a great ERA and whip, but he is mowing down those hitters. And he's still getting some modest growth there so far. Jeremiah Estrada has looked pretty good there. Luis Frias is a guy we need to get into the Major League bullpen at some point. He's too good for AAA. He's shown it for the second straight season. And then Abner Uribe is not walked anybody in his last 6 innings. He was like 8 1/3 innings and 7 walks when I last checked. So he has really started to settle in that department. Beck Way is really having himself a good prove-it year with this ERA. Probably might try to push him to AAA because he is 23 years old and see what he can do up there. And then Sean Burke's also having a pretty good prove-it year. So these guys really at their age 23 season were looking a little precarious, but kind of impressed by them. Brian Medina, happy to see him getting a lot of work in that long relief role, and he has been making the most of his opportunity. Only 20 years old, so I'm pretty excited to see how he continues to develop. Bryce Bonnin is worthy of a AAA relief spot, so we will probably look to try to push him there as well. And then that is it. I have nothing more to highlight for that. So the next time that I see you guys will probably be the trade deadline, and then after that we might try to play a game or two with the Major League squad to check out some of the new guys that we call up, just like we did last year. So in the meantime, in between time, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'm out. Deuces.